Hello, everyone. How are you? I see there's some people already checking in. Thank you so much for being here. This is our first round of webinars this year. We're going to try to actually do this every week for you. So, let's just give another minute to the people that are not here yet so they can start with us. Hello, guys. All right. I think we should start now. Thank you so much for being here. I see the counter just going up and up. Thank you so much for that. So, welcome. This is our first webinar for Photometrics with our CEO Juan Bello and me, Sebastian Blanco. I'm the marketing head here at Porter. We just wanted to give you guys some value regarding reports. We want you to know how to design and how to present your reports, so your reports actually get read. But enough for me. I just want Juan let himself in to be introduced. Juan, can you?
Of course, I will start. Everyone, thank you for being here to be very transparent with you and to get confidence to each other. We'll let you know that first, of course, this is the first time for Sebas doing a webinar. But the second thing is that we did a huge effort for being here. You cannot imagine what we needed to be today here doing this live. My intention with this live is to be super practical, to show you how you should create your reports. Maybe you have seen me on some YouTube tutorials, on Platzi, on whatever. I am doing this tutorial in English because we also have customers from everywhere in the world. That's why we do it this way. And we have some learnings of more than 1,000 customers. Our customers are marketers, our agencies, our marketing team. So I am super excited to start with you. So I will share stuff with my screen. I will share my screen. If you can confirm, Sebas, that I am sharing my screen, and I will start. Can you confirm, please?
you yes, you're sharing the screen, Juan. You can
Perfect.
actually go
I
to full. That's it.
Perfect. Guys, welcome to this video. Today I will show you how to present and design your marketing dashboards. The first thing I want to show you is this. I want to know if you relate to this message. If you work with an agency, you have said this, hey, my client is such an idiot. They don't get the metrics, they don't understand what is CPA, they don't know anything. And if you're in the marketing team, you think of this of your manager. Hey, my manager is an idiot. I don't know why he's the leader or she's the leader if they don't know digital marketing. This is so bad. But I want to ask you about this because maybe you are relating to this. You say, hey, these people are not reading my reports. And this is your report. A Google Sheet or a Google Data Studio report, now it is Looker Studio. I need to remember that. A report that looks like this. Of course, the reports are not being read, and they won't. But today we'll see if we can change that. I will tell you first why your reports are important. And the most important reason is your reports are meant to influence decision making. I want to clarify something in this thing. When you present a report, you are a data analyst. But when you influence decision making, you are a manager. Let me tell you this. The objective of your reports, of your marketing dashboards, is to get agreement and approval on your ideas to your team, to your clients. The idea of your report is that your client says, hey, I agree, let's do this. I will pay you more. Hey, or the manager says, hey, I love this idea, let's execute this. In the end, your report is a sales presentation with charts. That's why it is very important to get your reports well. Now, as a marketer, you have two components in your head. As remember, the quote that we say about marketing is art and science. To me, it is more art than science, actually. But today we will work in both sides of our brain, the artist side and the scientist side. Super simple. In the artist side, we will talk about specific storytelling techniques. There is not anything magical or abstract. It is super simple. And also in the scientist side, I will show you Google Data Studio tips, and I will keep saying Google Data Studio until my brain learns that it is now Looker Studio. I will miss the name of Google Data Studio, but that's those are Google decisions. I will start with the first tips for your reports. And this is special for marketing teams and agencies who feel that their managers are not reading the reports or their clients do not read the reports. The most common questions I get in customer support calls from some agencies in social media is, hey, I don't know how to make people to read, to see my reports. And this first tip is the non-negotiable. You have seen this quote many times on Instagram, this cliche quote that says, hey, what gets measured gets managed, which means you improve the metrics you track. And this is a good benefit of reports. When you track a metric, it is more likely that you will optimize it and you will achieve it. So if you wonder, hey, what is the importance of the reports? Because all the metrics that you are tracking every day, you are more likely to achieve them because you have a sense of progress when you achieve them. But this is a little switch or a little change in our report. Not what gets measured gets managed, but what gets managed gets measured. And the meaning of this is different. You track the metrics you care about. If I see your dashboards, the metrics that I am seeing are the ones I know you care about. Why I tell you this? If your client, no matter how the effort you have, if your boss, no matter how the effort you have, if they don't care about the reports and metrics you are showing to them, you are at risk of being fired. And let's suppose that we are in very impossible scenarios that are very unlikely. Let's suppose something crazy. What about if an Eastern European country starts a war with another country, and these two countries, let's say Ukraine and Russia, start a war, and these countries have a huge supply of the world's food demand, and they start a war, then there is no food, there is inflation, there is an economic recession. Thank you for that. Let's say that that happens. That is super impossible, that possibly happens, or something more unlikely. What about if 10 million people die of a virus and a pandemic started? Those things don't happen. Actually, they are not likely at all. But if they happen, companies shrink their budgets, they shorten their budgets. And when you are not essential, you are likely to be fired. The first tip is, if the metrics that you are reporting are not the most important ones, you are simply at risk. No good report will save an important metric. So after you start getting better reports, make sure that the metrics that you are showing are the ones that people actually care about. Now, let's talk about the second tip. The second tip is choosing the metrics that matter. Okay, you know that your metrics matter, but what I need to display? This is super important because this is the message I always get from people, from managers especially. They say, hey, I don't need to analyze this data, or I don't need a complex dashboard. I am a strategic individual. I only need the core metrics. I only need sales, transactions, and I am done. That's everything. But there is an issue with that thinking. And this is the balance that you need to get. Too few metrics, it mean when you have a dashboard with too few metrics, it means that you have lack of clarity and actionability. When you have too few metrics, it means that, hey, this person doesn't know what they are doing. Of course, when you only see sales data, of course, you cannot make decisions on that. So you cannot be actionable on the data. When you have only strategic metrics, that's another way of saying, hey, I don't know what I am doing. Really, literally, that's what you are saying. And do you know, how do you call a manager that doesn't get the job done, or they don't know what they are doing? How do you call a manager? They are called managers. That's the most common scenario. Now, the second option is that you have many metrics, too many metrics in your report. And when you have that, it represents that you have a problem prioritizing things. And what is the job of a strategist? A strategy is priority. So finding this balance is challenging, but I will tell you how I think on approaching this thing. I want to say this. Now, this is the type of metrics that you have. These are all the metrics that exist, and we break them down in three: the outcome metrics, input metrics, and KPIs. I will explain first the outcome metrics. Outcome metrics is the metrics that matter to the business in the end. They're the metrics that you are measured by. So for marketing, you are measured by users, by leads, by sign-ups, by customers, by these things. And in terms of monetization, is actual cold cash, how much money you are making on your business. It is your revenue, it is your transactions, it is your customers, it is the money. Outcome metrics is the metrics that we think are the most important. But the second type is actually where you make decisions. The outcome metrics are the past, are the result, are the outcome. The input metrics are the ones that predict the outcome metrics and are the ones that you can influence. So when you think of acquisition, you say, hey, to getting these leads, these customers, I need to think of the conversion rate from traffic to signups, or I need to think of how many transactions I have to get the revenue, or I need to know what is the average ticket to get the revenue. Are the metrics that are correlated with the outcome metric. And what is a KPI? A KPI is what you determine is the most important input metric for you. Outcome metric is the result. Input metric are the metrics that influence the outcome metric, and the KPI are the one or two metrics that you will focus on. Those are the key performance indicators. A KPI is a metric that you put more relevant for your business. Now, with this exercise, I will show you how you think and you can break down your visualizations and charts. Let's say that we are a SaaS company, a B2B SaaS company like Porter Metrics, and the most important metric for the marketing team is the signups. So I have a total signups goal or target or metric. What you will do to make this data actionable and to make your dashboard usable is break down your data. So I am breaking down my data by the acquisition channels. I have signups from SEO, signups from ads, and signups from social. I am breaking down, and now I am more actionable, because if I ask myself, hey, how do I get more signups? That's a hard question. But what if I say, how do I get more signups from SEO? That is a little bit more actionable. How many, or what can I do to get more signups from ads? That's more actionable. And then I break down the data even more. When I go to SEO, I want to break down my data by country, by page, by topic. And now you are becoming actionable. When you break down your data to topic and I say, hey, the question is not how do I get more signups, but how do I get more signups for my templates pages? That is more actionable, and you can actually be accountable of this metric, or you can assign someone in your team to be accountable of that specific task or tactic. That's how you analyze data. You break down your data. And what is the concept of this if you want to Google this? This is called driver tree. Driver tree is the exercise of taking your outcome metrics and breaking them down until you can become actionable. This is how you think of your reports. Think of your reports as a cascade. The more you break down the data, the more actionable it becomes. So never tell me anymore that I am strategic and I make decisions only with sales data. That's the huge difference. I will tell you an actual example of a report I like personally. That's our SEO report with actual data. Please don't steal it. Anyways, this video will be on YouTube. But this is how I think of why this report is useful. First, I have an outcome metric from SEO, which is the traffic, organic traffic we get from the website. So I say, hey, I have 8,000 visitors. That's good, but that is not actionable. It describes the past, what is happening. But I break down the data, and this is our actual content strategy. I take the 8,000 clicks I get organically, and then I break down by the topics I cover. So at Porter, we cover templates, we cover tutorials, we cover documentation, we cover comparisons. And as you can see, some of these content categories are growing or are decreasing. Now I can make decisions because I can say, hey, the templates are growing. What I can do to keep growing, or the tutorials are growing very well, so I am doing something very well. I can make decisions because the data is more actionable. And once I break down the data by topic, I then break it down again by page. I take, for instance, the tutorials topic, and then I see exactly what pages are driving the conversions, are driving the traffic, are driving the growth. That's how you analyze data. Everything else, more than this, is abstraction, because analyzing data, as you can see, it is super simple. Is take metrics and break them down until you can make decisions with them. This is simple. The next tip I want to share with you for reporting is always compare against something. And this is super important. Always hear the word insight. And the word insight is meaningful and meaningless, because what is an insight? An insight, by the way, is a new but non-evident but accurate thought or thinking or a finding. But you cannot get that insight without a context. What is a context? I want to ask you, if I tell you, hey, I have 8,000 clicks, that's good or that's bad? I don't know. Maybe it is very good, but maybe if it is for this year, it is very bad. Now I am adding a little bit more context. Hey, I have 8,000 clicks and I am a little bit up from the past week. So we are doing slightly better. And I'm having more context. I am seeing that over the weeks, my traffic, my clicks are growing over time. Now we are talking. Now we are telling a story because we are adding context to our metrics. But let's do something better. Besides only comparing my data against the past, what about I compare towards a business goal? So I said, hey, my goal was getting 7,000 clicks this week, and we are reaching 8,000. Now we are comparing against a goal, not just the past. And even better way to present your data is because most people don't read charts. Even though they are visual and they are easier, most people don't understand them, especially if they are not in your industry. So a better way to present your data is your metric, the context of the past, the context of the goal, and the text that describes what is going on. That's a better way to present your data with text. So this is super promising. If I ask you this, hey, this chart is, I don't know, I know what it is. It is the acquisition, it is traffic by acquisition sources, but people don't understand this. So what you will do to make your reports better, only a text. Put the title of what you are visualizing. So I am visualizing, hey, I want to visualize my purchases breakdown by source over time. So I can see, hey, an acquisition source important for me. It is Google, it is our email, it is whatever. I have a story. And also I add some details. I say the source of this chart is Google Analytics, and we are just filtering the pages in English. That's an example. Of course, I won't share my data with you. And there is another way to compare your data. To me, it is very intriguing and very compelling. Let's say you are Adidas. Hi, if someone of Adidas is here, and you are making a report. A great way to present a report is comparing against your competitors. Is saying, hey, we are doing this, but our competitors are doing better. How it is happening that Adidas have 5 million more followers or more likes, but way more people are talking about Nike. So Nike is doing actually better than Adidas in social. I am comparing against a competitor. That's more interesting for the audience to compare against others. Now, a summary of this part is, if you want to add context, you have 4 ways to do it. Compare against past performance, compare against objectives, compare against industry benchmark, and add text to your reports so people understand what, what you are showing. This is how you add context. Now, the next tip is contrast. Let's think of this. I told you in this presentation, hey, you need to show what are your priorities. You cannot have 20 metrics that are KPIs, that are priorities. And when you visualize data, we visualize it like this. All the metrics have the same size, so I think they have the same priority. A simple change to add contracts is change the size of the charts and the metrics that are more relevant to you. So the bigger ones are the most important metrics, the outcome metrics, and then the input metrics are the ones that you want to be tracking, but they are smaller. That's how you can change your charts for better, so you can add contracts, so these metrics are more relevant. Then, if I ask you this, I see this table, this Google Ads report. What is the priority? According to me, the priority is the CTR, is the first chart, if it's the first metric I am seeing. So according to this, I want to display a, a table that shows me what is the best campaign by CTR, but this is not true. So I will do some changes to add contrast to my report so I tell the story I want to tell. The first thing I want to say is, okay, the table should and must start with cost per conversion. That's my actual KPI. And so that's the first. The second thing is I want to sort by that KPI. What is sorting? I want to add from maximum to minimum the cost per conversion. So I start with the best performing campaign whose cost per conversion is $5. And finally, I am removing metrics. In the past, I had impressions, I had clicks. No, this time my table only has the 3 metrics, the KPIs I want to focus on. How do you do this on Data Studio? You will click on the table. That's it. And you choose the metrics and dimensions. Okay, I am breaking down my data by campaign, and I am choosing the metrics I want to visualize in the order I want to visualize them. This is very important. Now, The second thing is sorting the data. I want to make sure that I am displaying the data by the lowest cost per acquisition to the highest cost per acquisition. So I show first the lowest one. That's the thing. Now, another way to add contrast, so your most important metric is more relevant, is with conditional formatting. And it is highlighting in red, in green, in whatever, the best cost per conversion. When I see this is more useful than a white report. With a white report, I need to read. In this case, I don't need to read. I can simply highlight, hey, what campaigns are doing fine in cost per acquisition and which ones are doing very wrong? How do I create that on Data Studio? On Looker Studio, I need to remember that. It is super simple. I click on the table, I go to style, and I click on conditional formatting. Once I do that, I will create the rules. So the rule is, if the cost per conversion is less than $20, then it is green. If the cost per conversion is greater than 90, then it is red. That's how you create contrast with your reports and with your charts. I will show you this, and I will bet most of you don't know how to do this on Data Studio or Looker Studio. Oh my God. Why? I know that you cannot do it because by default, Looker Studio doesn't let you create these charts where you can highlight a bar chart. So how you can do this? Let me show you how this is done and why this is important. I will show you. You can create a bar chart with a single color, but you want to tell the specific story. The story here is that the smart shopping ad campaigns are driving more conversions, and you want to make sure that this one is highlighted. So how do I highlight that bar chart on Looker Studio? I click on the table, as always. I go to setup, and you will choose this type of chart, the bar chart with breakdowns. That's the first step. The second step is that you will add the dimension, the breakdown of your data. You want to break down your data by campaign. And this is add type. And then you want to use the same dimension, the same breakdown in the secondary dimension. And that's how you do it. The next thing is a style. You will put the stack bars. And finally, you will put the colors. And these colors are put manually. So the first color is green, and the rest of the bars are gray. And that's how you highlight and you create a chart like this. That's how you visualize your data. And that's something that most people using Looker Studio don't know. So you can impress people very quickly and very, very simple. The next tip I want to show with you, because I know you are super busy, but this one is super important, is make your report interactive. Why it matters? The first thing that you want to know is this. This is my SEO report. This is actually my SEO report, but maybe it has a lot of data. I want to see only the stories I want to know. So I will click on content type, and I will click on product pages. Now I have context. Now I'm breaking down my data because the report is interactive. And when I see this data and I see only the performance of product page, this is an insight because this is something that I could not see in the past. I see that my product pages are actually underperforming. Their performance is flat. But when I break down my data by tutorials, I see that my tutorials are skyrocketing. So hi, Joy and Ovi, thank you for your work. You can see that you are doing very well with your tutorials. As you can see, we can find insights because we are breaking down the data because the reports are interactive. And this is not the only type of reports. This is another one that we found super interesting. There is another filter, or more than a filter, a button that I can use on Data Studio or Looker Studio to make the report interactive. And I say, hey, please filter the data with the pages that contain the number 4. Why did I do this? I wanted to see all the content that I have related with Google Analytics 4. So this report with this filter tells me that the Google Analytics 4 topic is skyrocketing. And this is a new insight thanks to making our reports interactive. This is insane. And this is beautiful because you can do these changes. I won't explain you how to create these breakdowns. You will simply go to Data Studio, you click on Add a Control, and then you will see the drop-down list, the input boxes, the checkboxes, and I encourage you to play with these ones. For instance, if you want to say, hey, I want to display this year's data or this month data or today's data, you can also add date range control. So your reports are interactive. And this is another thing that not many people know. You can convert all of your charts as a filter or a breakdown. Let me show you. I want to only visualize a single page data. I will click on one of them, and now the entire Looker Studio report is only showing me data from that specific page. So I made this chart interactive. How did I do this? I go to Data Studio, I click on the table, and in the bottom of the setup, you will see an option that says Charts Interactions, Cross Filtering, and now every chart in your report will become a filter too. And that's how you make your reports interactive. Now, let's stop talking a little bit about Data Studio, about visualization, and let's talk about the context of your presentation. And I want to change your mind in the way you think of dashboards, because the way we think of reports are dashboards, and dashboards are not the only way to present data. So this next tip is about developing a narrative. And I want to go about this. This this is a chart that we have on Data Studio. Oh my God, on Looker Studio on our website. It turns out that Metric has the largest Looker Studio report templates gallery in the world. We can bet it, of course, by far. But this dashboard looks promising. But if you're a marketer, you will say, hey, this is useful. But if you are not, this is struggling. This is hard to read because dashboards are not meant for non-technical users. This is the thing. Dashboards are difficult to read if the audience doesn't have a good context or background in the topic you're talking about. If you are presenting to an audience that doesn't know marketing, they will have a hard time reading dashboards. Now we can change this. A solution is, instead of thinking of dashboards on Data Studio, think of data presentations. And a data presentation is a slide deck communicating a single idea and a chart at a time. So this will change the way you see Data Studio. The way you see Looker Studio today is a visualization tool, a reporting tool. But what about if you think of Looker Studio as a slides builder? For instance, in this case, I literally created a slide on Looker Studio. I put a single metric with a single story, with a single idea, with text. And I am using navigation in the left side so people can go through the story, one idea, one chart, one slide at a time. That's how you do it. How you can turn your dashboards into slides? You use navigation. You change the page size. As you can see, this dashboard is smaller, and you use text along with the chart. That's how you convert dashboards that are cluttered into specific slides that say a single story. This is great for client presentations that are live. You want to keep dashboards, but when they are asynchronous. So what you can do is the client can always open the dashboards, but when you want to present data to your client, maybe you can use a data presentation instead. This is an example that we have in our report templates gallery. We have, instead of a dashboard, we have an infographic. We created an infographic so people can see who are visiting their website by geography, by demographics, by interests, and also by device. As you can see, we are not taking Data Studio or Looker Studio as a reporting tool, but as an infographic tool. And when you change your perspective on this, you can tell stories in a different way. That's how you can play differently. Now, let's talk about the narrative, or how the information that you say flows over the presentation. This is all the presentations that you see. Hey, I am Juan, and the first thing is my email marketing campaign is doing wrong. Actually, it is. So the email marketing campaign is doing wrong. We are also running ads, and the CPA is bad, and also we are doing good in SEO. That's data, but data is not challenging. It is not motivational. So let's change the way we flow with the information we get for our customers and clients. The first thing I want to share with you is don't impress only by sharing good news. This is very common among agencies and marketing teams because there is no confidence. So you always want to highlight the things that you are doing right. You are afraid of things that are going wrong, that maybe are not your fault, but you want to hide that you're not doing right. You want to hide that your CPA is high. You want to hide that your SEO is not actually converting into customers. You want to hide all of that because you want to be well perceived as someone who is doing their job. This is the first thing. Always remember, doing marketing is hard. Marketing is hard. Marketing is uncertain. Marketing is unpredictable. Most of the times it is like this. So it is okay if you want to impress with actual data, because what will happen when you want to impress with only good news is that your team and your client won't trust your report and what you are showing. And in the end, your data won't be interesting because it doesn't have a story. There is no good movie of Disney. There is no good movie at all without a villain, without a problem, without a challenge. Motivation comes from challenge. And this is how you change the narrative. You start with a hook. Then you say that something is not going well. Then you explain why things are not going well and then what you will do about it. That's how your presentations should go, should flow. I will explain these steps in a very simple way. A hook. A hook is the main idea that captures attention. So an example of hook is in today's presentation where I will show you our ads performance. I want to share with you today our quick wins, our learnings, but also unnoticed ways or surprise ways for us to solve this problem. So I want to show you a new surprise. For this presentation today, we told you, hey, by the end of this presentation, we will give gifts to our audience. So we want you to stay here because there is a hook. There is something that calls your attention that makes you want to read more, that makes you want to know more. So that the first thing is the hook. Now let's go up after the next things. The problem is showing what is not going well. My CPA is high, my email marketing is doing wrong, our open rate is below 10%. Now you go after tension. The tension is share the insight that led to this problem. So you explain the panorama. You say, hey, our CPA is higher because the CPM is higher because there is more competition. Seasonality, December is more expensive. Our ads are being saturated. We are showing our same ads very often. And the third step is after you gather all these insights, you make recommendations and next steps for your clients and for your audience. That's the structure of any story, even Hollywood movies and also data presentations in your team. It works always the same. You start with something bad because that's more motivational. Then you explain the context of what is going on, and then you come up with a possible solution that will solve all the problems. This is not linear. This is a story because we move by emotions and we move by stories. Let's try this example. I made it to make it more simple to understand. So the problem is paid ads program results. I want to share with you the quick wins, the learnings, and an untapped opportunity ahead for our ad strategy. Oh my God, I want to know this. I am willing to pay $2,000 for a consultant to know this opportunity. True story. Bad decision. But then I want to highlight the problem. Hey, our CPA is going up. This is not going well. The CPA in general is going from $5 to $10. This means we spend every $100 that we spend, we used to get 20 customers. Now we get only 10 customers. This is the message. You start explaining your problem, but also you reframe it in a way it is more impressive. What I want to say, cost per acquisition $5 or $10. Wow, that looks bad. Hey, we used to get with the same money 20 customers and now we get 10. The same data presented in a different way helps you highlight your idea. It makes it more powerful. It is the same thing to say, hey, our cost per acquisition is $50 than to say every $100 we only get 2 customers now. The same data presented in a different way can be more impactful to change and to tell your story. Now, agitate with more insights. Why this is happening? Okay, our CPA is higher because the landing page conversion rate dropped a lot, and the CPM is higher because of seasonality, because of December. This is very bad. So what we will do about this? A solution. The solution is, hey, our website is not performing well. So I will optimize the copy and the speed because many people are dropping my website. The second thing is I will change the creatives because the frequency is very high and people are getting bored of our ads. Everyone is bored about ads, by the way. That's not a new story. And finally, hey, if Google Ads is very competitive during December, what about if we try other alternative channels like Bing ads? No one has said that. No one uses Bing instead of in the US. Of course they do. But that's a different scenario or solution that you can propose in your presentation. As you can see, we went through the hook, then we highlighted a problem, then we showed the context, and then we came up with a solution. That's how you tell a story, and that you can tell the story of your data with your presentations. Now, let's go a little bit more tactical. This is very common. I want to white label my report, and why this is important. Because when your report is not white label on what it is, your client or your audience perceives you as more professional. It happens that customers don't know what Looker Studio is. They don't know it. When you show a report with their logo, with their brand, they feel, hey, this tool is made for me. I will pay you more because you seem so professional. That's why white labeling is a big deal. How do you white label your Looker Studio reports? You only go to Looker Studio, click on Edit, and here in the menu, in the top right, you will see all the options you can use to change your reports layout and style and branding. I will start with theme and layout. So when I click on theme and layout, I can change the colors of the entire report. And something special, you can actually bring an image and Looker Studio will put the most important or most popular colors from the image and they will put it in the report. That's a cool hack. Another way, as I told you, with the layout, we can change the size, we can use navigation, we can add more pages, we can make our report mobile friendly. We can do this in this section. And now in the next sections, we can put elements in the report. For instance, I can embed things in my reports. You can embed videos on your Looker Studio reports. For instance, an idea, if your client is very bad at reading data, maybe you can embed a video of you explaining the metric to your client. That's a hint. That's a clue. Now, other elements. As you can see, I can add images, I can add text, I can add boxes, I can add shapes, I can do everything I want to make a report like this one. This is an actual Shopify report template, free, of course. It is free. That uses the logos, that uses banners, that uses buttons, that uses images, and you can do it. And of course, this is built by Potter, but it actually looks by Shopify. It has the logo there. That's why white labeling is an important thing. And finally, for your data studio, Looker Studio, I will hit myself if I keep saying data studio, is sharing your reports. Maybe you know this, but I will show you something that is quite new. You will go to Looker Studio. You will click on share and you have 5 options to share your reports with people. The first one is invite people. If you use Google products, it means that you are young, first. And second, you are not using Microsoft, of course, but you are familiar with this. If you want to invite people, it is like Google Docs or Google Sheets. You simply put the emails of the people you want to have access to for this report. The second option is sending your report to your client or to your audience every week or every day. We send our marketing reports to the entire team every Monday, and actually every day at 8 a.m. This is a ritual that we have for our team. The third way is a PDF. If your reader don't want to use Looker and they would prefer a PDF, Looker Studio let you transform into PDF your reports. And finally, this is something that you already know. You can embed your report to insert it on a website. And when you do this, of course, you know of this, but did you know this? This is a website, and all you see, it is actually built on Looker Studio. Why is happening? Or what is the problem? When you embed a report from Looker Studio, it is white label. It is not white label. It shows the logo, it shows that you can access the thing, but there is an actual way you can embed a report and you can remove the logo of Looker Studio. So you can make people feel that this is an entire website, an entire experience. I think this is very useful for agencies to impress their clients because it seems, hey, these people built a website to present the data to me. This is actually doable, but I won't show it today. I will show it in the next webinars. Now, the last tip for you is use Potter. At Potter, we have everything. First, we have a free Google Data Studio, or Looker Studio course that you can see in Spanish or English. Also, we have the world's largest Looker Studio templates gallery. For all of you, more than 100 templates that you can use to automate your marketing reporting. And today, for people here who are still here in this presentation, you can access our premium templates gallery too, which are worth $400. How they are worth $400? Because we compare against other premium templates and ours are better. And also, for everyone using Potter, we have free custom reporting and unlimited chat and video support. So if you don't know how to use Looker Studio, if you don't know how to automate your reports, we help you for free in calls and chats, if that's something interesting for you. And this is the final thing. Every week, we will be doing the effort of creating webinars for you to teach you about marketing reporting, about moving faster, about winning with your marketing data. Thank you very much for this presentation, and I will see you. I will see you in the next webinar. Thank you very much. And Sebas, this is my presentation.
All right, Juan, thank you very much. Hey, everyone, thank you very much for still being here. As Juan already say, we're gonna have some gifts for you all. So thank you for staying with us. Um, these last few minutes, what we're gonna do is we're gonna accept some questions. If you guys have any questions, we have time to answer a bit of them. And of course, tell you some of the of the announcements that we have. Uh, Even though you have Porter or not, we have some support groups for you guys in order to get some help with the reports. So they're already at the description. You can join our Slack group and ask whatever you want. I repeat, you don't need to be with Porter in order to do that. And we have also a Facebook support group that you can join. Maybe you are actually seeing us right now through it. If not, please join. All right, so let's answer some questions. The first question that I'm gonna get on is the following. I'm gonna just have it show it up to you right now. In your experience, do better reports influence the lifetime value for an agency's clients?
So this question means if the report helps me retain clients for a longer time. That's what I will get.
Correct. Correct.
Uh, yes, I think the report and the session of reporting with your client is the center of the relationship with them because it's where you are showing your results and your output. It happens a lot that the client says, "Hey, I don't know if the agency is working." Well, it is in the report when you know it. So your lifetime value of your agency client is in function on how well you report and present your data and how you sell new ideas to keep working with them.
That's a great answer, Juan. Thank you very much. Have another
Of course, you,
question for
of course, you will say
from
that.
Daniel.
Of course, yeah.
He says, "Hi, Juan. Very interesting topic. Do you think that we could get access to the slides?"
Uh, no, of course, I will send it to you. Actually, I think I will send you the link right now.
And
I
further,
sent it to you
we're
as
gonna set.
private. Yeah, and you will send it to them.
That's perfect. I'm gonna share the link that Juan just gave me right here at the comments, so you guys can have it. And we're gonna start it. All right. Also, we're gonna send a video. So if you actually want to share this with your team, you can also do it. All right, Juan. We have another question here. Juan says, "Is there a way to have a constant metric like conversion score to compare it with a report like cards?"
So, is there a way to have a constant metric like conversions goal to compare it with a report like cards? Yes. So the question is how you can visualize conversion goals. I will make a video about that, but there are two ways. Maybe you can put fixed data. I mean, you can actually output the data. Also, Looker Studio have different ways to visualize towards goals. As you saw, we saw bullet charts. We have some visualizations, but a more sophisticated way that maybe I can teach later is that you can combine, for instance, your Facebook ads data with a Google sheet that has the goals data, and you can track in real time the actual goal versus the objective. So actually, there is a way, and you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and maybe I can explain you how the process looks.
All right. Uh, if those are all the questions that we have for today, I guess we're gonna have to go to the next part, the actual fun part of the of the webinar. We're gonna give out some of the freebies, right? So this is how we're gonna go. We have actually three things that we are gonna give, right? So the first one, and that's for everyone here, in the description, you can actually get a call with us. It's gonna be free, and we're gonna help you set up whatever report that you need. You're gonna have a call with our support team, right? So that's for everyone here. Just go to the description right now and set up your call. That's for everyone. All right. But now we're gonna have the freebies. So we have two freebies, and we're gonna give this. Well, the first one to three people, and the second one to another three people. The first one is you're not actually gonna get a call with support, but you're gonna get a call with Juan himself, who's gonna help you in a 30-minute call to set up your report. And the second one, and the other three people are gonna get the premium templates. All right. Juan already say how much they will worth, so I guess that you guys would like to have that as well. So this is how we're gonna go. It's first come first serve. I'm going to ask one question for the first one and then a second question for the second one. The first three people that answer the question right in the comments and actually get it right, um, then I'm gonna just contact you and give you the freebies by via email, right? So now time for the gifts. My first question would be, and this is for Juan getting in a call with you. Remember, it's three people. Um, please, what would you say were two of the tips that Juan gave out through the presentation? Two of the tips. First three people to comment, we'll get there. Just waiting, waiting for people to comment.
Of course, you're putting a lot of pressure. I don't expect that many people answer. One or two, and one of them is you. So
Remember, I'm gonna repeat the question. All right, we already have two. Context, contrast, says Zeman. Daniel says storytelling, narrative, and white label. And lastly, Juan Sebastian says cross filtering for the table. Juan, that's just one. You need another one, Juan. But I guess we already have them. What would you say,
perfect.
Juan? Uh, all right. So we have our first three winners. Please reach
That,
out
that's
to.
that's more than
I'm sorry,
expected.
Juan.
That's where more participants than I expected. So thank you.
I'm gonna give you right here. No, actually, could you please let your emails with the ones that you actually uh, get got into this webinar so I can reach out to you. I'm gonna reach out to you directly. Okay, that would get me to my second question. My second question, this is for the actual premium template. Another three people. This is actually a really easy question, so I'm expecting a little more people to answer. Juan didn't really get it, but what is the new name for Google Data Studio?
You can also say, "Hey, just give the templates for free to anyone." That's you can
That's
also say that. Yeah.
that could. I wanted it to be really easy. I repeat the question. What is the new name for Google Data Studio? It just changed, I think, yesterday. We have one. All right. We had a lot of engagement right here. So I'm gonna say our winners for the first uh, for the first freebie is Desna, Daniel Mauricio, and Juan Sebastian. Please, please, please leave your emails right here. And for the second one, it's okay. I guess we didn't even put a limit to it. So then Desmond, you're actually fine. He got into two freebies. So Desmond was the first one into the second one. Moises also got into it, and Marcos Ezequiel also got into it. So please, please, all the winners, leave your emails right in the comment box. I'm gonna reach personally to you and give you your freebies. That would be all for today. Just to remember, just a reminder, please, please join our Slack group and our Facebook group. They give very, very, very good value each week. And also, is the one that they are the ones that are going to actually tell you when we're going to keep doing this webinar. So help you all. Thank you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being with us for almost an hour. I hope we can see you next week again. Juan, do you want to say something else?
Yeah, that many people participated for the templates, but not for the time with me, which makes me think that templates are
A
more
little bit
appealing than
sad.
me. Yeah, that's the first thing. But the second thing is we will win because not many companies are willing to do this. What they do is, hey, run ads and get customers. The way we win is we will provide as much value as needed to help you succeed with your reporting. So I hope that we will see you in the next videos. And thank you.
Bye, everybody.